The second episode for Superman and Lois is here, and this one is action-packed and also has a lot of drama, so let's talk about it. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arjun, and I love talking about movies and TV. If you do too, consider subscribing to my channel, and also be sure to tell me down below in the comments what you thought about this episode of Superman and Lois. I personally thoroughly enjoyed the first episode, and I went into this one expecting it to be just as good. What did I think of it? Let's get started talking about my general thoughts. I've got to say, I like this one more than the first episode. I had two issues with the first episode. The first was that there wasn't enough action, and the second one was that we didn't get to see Lois as much as we got to see Superman. And this episode fixed both of those problems, so I was really happy with it. I did think that the action they did here was really good. It was very Zack Snyder-esque because he did Man of Steel, and this one also has some Man of Steel type action scenes, which I thought was really cool. And there's also a lot of other plot lines and tiny threads that were well done in this episode. I think from beginning to end, it kept me invested in the story. Every single character was done well. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode, and I'd say it's better than the first one. I also thought the music here was really good. I didn't really notice the music as much in the first one, but in this episode, it was like very good. And every time like our villain showed up or our hero showed up, the theme just feels like something that should be playing. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Now let's move into my spoiler review. So basically this episode starts off with a little montage again, and we basically see the family moving from Metropolis to Smallville. So we actually ended with that last episode, and we're just beginning to see them moving all the stuff, furniture and stuff. And basically after that, they basically have like a little conversation about them going to school. Clark and Lois, they decide that they're not gonna send Jordan to school because he has superpowers. And so he wanted to go to school, and then he thinks of himself as a freak again because they're not letting him go to school. So I thought that was a nice dynamic to add to the drama that's already in the show. So I thought that was interesting, and the way they explored that was really good. And then basically after that, in the next day, we have Jonathan, the other twin. He goes to school, and then Superman, or Clark, he takes Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude. If you know who Superman is, you know what the Fortress of Solitude is. That's the place he learned about Krypton and how he became Superman, how he has powers and all that fun stuff. So basically, he takes Jordan there, and after that, they test for his powers. That's one of the bigger plot lines of this episode. So basically, they're like, test him for powers, and Jor-El, or the hologram of Jor-El, says that he cannot be like Clark. He can't have the powers like Clark does because he can't control them. They just show up out of nowhere. I thought I kind of had an issue with this because they tried to take the whole thing throughout the entire episode and make it like a huge drama thing. I felt like that's something that shouldn't have been done. I feel like they should have made that a smaller plot line, and that would have been better instead of just making it a huge drama thing. It worked for this episode, but I hope they don't spread it to the next episodes because that's gonna hurt the show for me. Basically, after that, we have Jonathan at school. He's basically having a hard time because there's bullies, and he's playing football. He's obviously on the football team, so he's playing football, and they're not letting him play. They're just pushing him and bullying him. So obviously, normal school stuff, I guess. So basically, that's happening, and he thinks it's because of his brother. So he goes back home, like after school. After they go back home, basically we have this another plot line. So while all of that was happening, we have Lois, who was basically invited for a barbecue party type of thing. So she wants to take the whole family. So everyone, they go to the whole family party thing, and have obviously the husband guy who's always just, he doesn't like Lois, which is kind of interesting from the standpoint they're doing it, because I thought that was executed really well, because it looks like he's working with Morgan Edge, the guy that owns Daily Planet, the place that Lois works at. So I thought like that dynamic was very interesting, and it was kind of cool to see them just have that conflict. And after that, Superman is called by the general guy, I don't know his name, Lois's dad. So what happens is our villain, Lex Luthor, or robot guy, he's looking for kryptonite. He wasn't able to find any kryptonite, so he attacks the military base. At least we think he's attacking the military base. So the military guys, they're shooting him, but obviously his suit is bulletproof, so nothing happens. But we find out that he is here for the general. He's not here to attack or find kryptonite, at that place at least. So he goes to the general and he like tells him stuff. So later in the episode we learn that on his planet, this was a really cool scene. I loved how they did it. On his planet, Superman's a bad guy and basically like killing the military officers. We see that happening, and I thought that was very dark, and I love the direction they took it. I want to learn more about what happened on his planet, because that could really make him a compelling villain. And basically, while all of this comes to a close, we have Jordan and Jonathan. They basically come together, bonding more compared to they were before. They're actually like acting more like brothers and trying to understand each other. I thought that was well done, because I want them to be actual brothers. I don't want everything to just be conflict between them. So I'm glad that they're, you know, coming closer together, and I'm enjoying that side of the story. And obviously we have Lois. She basically writes a whole article on Morgan Edge and how he's a bad guy, he's doing this, he's doing that, to Smallville. So she tries to publish it, but obviously Morgan Edge owns the company. So he rewrote the whole article, so it is pro Morgan Edge. It's not against him, it's for him. So we have Lois. She goes to the Daily Planet and she basically writes something. I thought it was an article. She gives it to Morgan Edge. He opens and sees it, and she basically says that's the best writing she's done since Morgan Edge took over the Daily Planet. He opens and sees it, and it says, "I quit." So I thought that was like really good, because it was a funny line, and it really shows her more as a character than it just as, you know, just someone that's there. So before I give you guys my final thoughts on it, be sure to tell me down below in the comments what you thought about this episode of Superman and Lois. And yes, I did see The Flash, the new episode of The Flash. To be honest, I didn't really like it. I thought it was fine. It was watchable, but that's the best I can say about it, unfortunately. I'll try to do a review if I can, but yeah. So overall, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. I think this is the show that's kind of probably gonna save the Arrowverse if it ends up being just as good as these two episodes. So I'm really enjoying it overall, and I'm excited to see where they take all of these plot lines. Obviously, Lois is working at Smallville now, and we have our brothers. They're obviously coming together. They're coming closer together, and we have Clark, Superman, who is against Lex Luthor. I'm really excited for the Clark, Superman, and Lex Luthor plotline, because I feel like this Lex Luthor, he has the potential of becoming probably the best villain in the Arrowverse if you get to see more of him, and he's just as intimidating as he is now. I really enjoyed this episode, and for my final score, I'm going to give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. Again, just like the first episode, but I would say it's just slightly better than the first episode. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.